G'day, welcome to the Team SFF Show, the podcast where hunting, fishing and farming meet politics, common sense and the occasional bad joke. Join Mark Bonaziak, MLC and Robert Borzak Jr. We'll be diving into real issues affecting common sense Australians, from public land access to gun laws and everything in between. Strap in, we're calling it how we see it. Have you seen the one where? So you saw that video that we put out last week or the week before
about the ambulance
about the insect ambulance.
Insect ambulance, yeah.
And then I swear to goodness, a couple of days later, there was something at some tennis event where there was like some marsh fly or something on the court. These giant bloody flies, and the tennis player runs up and gets it off the court. And then the ball boy walks over and goes stomp on this fly, right?
And Peter loses his mind.
And then Peter put up a post about it going that, of course I should have had this queued up, but it was their typical language that animals are individuals.
Yeah.
So that insect is an individual. And it's just, I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not. And an insect is, so it used language like it was someone.
Yeah.
Like, so what was his name? Harold?
Yeah, they anthropomorphise everything,
But it's not, there's no common sense person that goes, that cockroach that I just stepped on because it's infesting my house and garbage, I should feel guilty about that. There it is. There it is. So the post that they said was, this tiny person was just trying to save his life. Sorry, was just trying to live his life. Maria Sakkari, that must be the tennis player, saw that and paused her match to gently carry him to safety, but moments later, a ball boy ended it with a stomp. He wasn't a distraction, he was someone.
What a load of shit.
Like, come on.
It's not a person.
And now he's got a Disney face.
Yeah, of course.
And it says, sorry for interrupting the game. I didn't know that being seen would cost me my life.
Well, first of all, it's not a tiny person, it's a bug. And I say, give that ball boy an extra sausage sandwich.
It's so we make the joke about insect ambulances, and that's what they're calling for here. So
the shit's they actually believe this shit. That's the scary thing. They actually believe their own garbage.
Well, where do you stop? So let's say the insect was stepped on but not killed. Is there going to have some sort of insect rescue situation?
Yep.
Should that insect have gone to a veterinarian?
Yep. Because they're not busy enough.
Exactly. So every fly you swat that isn't dead yet, it's like, do you just chuck it in the bin or do you need to rescue that? So does it become insect rescue?
Yeah.
Does it become insect ambulance? So you make fun of these people saying this is what they believe and this is way too far. But their logic follows that way.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
They walk amongst us.
Exactly. And they vote.
Yeah.
They vote. They decide, our government, they decide taxation policies which to choose from. They decide just as much as you. Their vote matters just as much as you. And it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
If breathing wasn't innate, some of these people would be in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. How much do you know about what's happening in Victoria?
In terms of the recent protests?
Yeah, so I saw that on the steps of Parliament House down there.
Yeah.
And Jeff Borman was down there with them. Yeah,
so Labor down there have got a piece of legislation that will essentially targets farmers, threatens them with fines if they fail to get out of the way for renewable energy developers.
Okay.
So fines of, I think, upwards of $12,000 per offence of basically not laying down or bending over to renewable energy developers. On your own land.
Yep.
Huge issue around private property rights.
And we're sort of seeing that now, aren't we? Where we're having in New South Wales those towns that are, some landowners are secretly signing up for this stuff because they don't want to get I don't know, litigated in public amongst their friends and other families that they know. So they've secretly signed these deals, and then their mates are finding out once they've already done the deal.
It's actually part of the arrangement with the energy developer that you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Wow.
The energy developer makes you sign a non-disclosure agreement when you agree to host these developments on your land.
Which we're talking about things like windmills, right?
Windmills, solar panels, batteries. And
so you don't know, you couldn't potentially know until the trucks start rolling in and they start clearing land.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know until the planning process really starts. So probably months after they've signed this non-disclosure agreement, you might receive a shitty little flyer from the energy developer in your mailbox.
Okay.
Saying, we're going to do this on the land, just next to you, and you're going to be surrounded, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to go through, landowners then have to go through this whole process of trying to understand what exactly is going on and put in submissions, read documents from the energy developer that might be 400 or 500 pages long, full of word salad. And try and fight against it. And
crikey.
Yeah.
And what's the latest science on these windmills? Because it's certainly not something that we know is safe. It's certainly something that we know. How long do they have? What's their half-life? 10 years?
I think 10 to 15. 10 to 15.
Sorry, functional life. Yeah, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
And then they can't bury them.
No, there's no. Well, you probably can, but it's not good. There's no decommissioning bond, so the landholder takes full responsibility for disposal.
And he probably can't dispose it on his land.
No, and by that stage, that energy developer could have walked away, disappeared, changed names, Phoenix to something else.
Yeah. And none of these like windmills and solar panels, none of it's made in Australia.
No, 85 to 95% of the components of solar panels and wind turbines are coming from places like the Democratic Republic of Congo, and
that's the rare earth minerals.
Rare earth minerals in China. So all with the risk of modern slavery. So
crikey. So I remember that there used to be a situation where China used to make them all. So obviously they gather the resources, some of it from Australia, and then they'd make it all in China.
Yeah.
And then there was a stage where they were renting them to us. Is that right? Like they wouldn't actually sell them to you, so you don't buy them. The energy company is actually renting them.
Yeah.
Because they know they've got us over a barrel. We have all the resources, none of the manufacturing, so they can just do what they want with us.
Yeah, essentially. We're a plaything for these energy developers and these countries like China.
Bloody hell. Okay, so this is what's happening down in Victoria.
Yeah, so the Labor government is essentially trying to steamroll the renewable energy fantasy in Victoria, and they're doing it by trying to essentially threaten farmers with fines. Get out of the way, let us onto your land. Otherwise, we'll fine you into oblivion. It's not the right way to go about it.
Crikey. Well, good on them for protesting, and hope they're doing it the right way, doing it the proper way.
Well, they're not gluing themselves to roads or throwing tomato sauce or soup at paintings,
or padlocking their heads to the steering wheel.
Yeah, or padlocking their heads to the steering wheel
in the harbour tunnel.
Yeah. Special kind of stupid, those ones.
I did see him driving a tractor down the main road there, which was pretty good. Yeah, but that's all right. Okay, good luck to him. Stick it to him, farmers in Victoria. Should we get to old mate? Let's get to old mate.
Who's old mate?
You would have seen this one. This was the fella. I don't know where this is. I didn't do a deep dive, but it went nuts at the end of last week.
Right.
He's a fella. He's obviously touring some sort of facility. It must be in Asia because the lady. It looks like they're wearing official lanyards and they're touring someplace. And at the end, she says, "Enjoy your stay," or whatever. But you have a listen to this. This bloke is absolutely saying what we all think about energy in Australia. Let me just turn it up.
battery electric vehicles in your mining operations then?
Well, we have coal because we've got the biggest coal deposits in the world, but we're not allowed to burn the stuff, so the world's rooted, really. It's all right to be idealistic, but you also have to be realistic. And until the lights go out, the idiots that want to be green on everything and not do mining, not do coal, not do anything, they're going to have to go back and use candles and live in tents. Then they'll you might laugh, but it's true. So you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not talking bullshit, I'm talking reality. If we don't get realistic, it's as simple as that. We're not allowed to use uranium. We've got the biggest uranium deposits in the world in Australia. We're not allowed to mine the stuff. So it's all So when half these die, well, the world will be a better place. And then those of us that survive will get it going again.
Well, just that's an no.
My next door neighbour, I was talking to him. He's a lawyer, so he's not an idiot. Well, he is. That's another problem. But he said, "Oh, that's right. You just put plugs along the highways." I said, "But if you haven't got a source from a power station, plugs on the highways aren't going to do." You understand me? The people don't understand. They think the electricity comes out of space. But if you haven't got a charging system, which is a steam coal burning power station, how the can you charge your batteries? You understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Well, there's a lot of the don't, and that's the problem with the world.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the visit.
We will, yeah, we'll enjoy it eventually.
We'll enjoy it eventually, he says. So don't you just love something about just an old boy who's he's lived his life,
Yeah.
he's seen it all, he knows it all, all that he needs to know, and he's got the wisdom there where he can just sum it up.
And doesn't give a fuck how he sums it up.
Doesn't give a fuck. And you look at the young fella standing next to him. He's probably got a young family.
Yeah.
And all he can do is just chuckle because he's like, oof, like he's saying it so brutally honest. And you can tell that's how he wants to talk.
Yeah.
He just like, no, I can't. Just let the old boy cook and I'll just leave it.
I bet the journo regrets asking that question.
Do you reckon it was a journo? I reckon it could have been like I don't know, like some sort of corporate media. Like they're doing it. She had a mic flag on that wasn't. I don't know what that mic flag was.
Well, either way, I think she regrets asking the question because she got. I think she got the answer she probably wasn't hoping for.
What it looked like to me was, I think it was like let's say it was in China and they're like looking at some mining operation. They love going out there and interviewing them, saying, "Welcome to the, how are you enjoying your time at Xinguang, prefecture or whatever it is." And they get like client testimonies.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was, and I reckon that old boy and the young fella were from the same company and they went over there or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're walking around and the old guy would have been saying to him, "Yeah, I can believe it. They got all this all sorted out here. We can't have any of this in our country. Our country's starved." And then he was all really wound up because it's great to be there, but he's just upset that he just doesn't have that in his country, in our country, in Australia. And then they stick a mic in front of him at the wrong time, and he's brutally honest.
Well, what's the bet that doesn't make it to the?
I don't think so.
The prospectus at the end of it.
But who's the legend that released that? Like, that's so good.
Yeah,
that's so good. Look, it definitely wouldn't have been a company person that released that. Love seeing old boys like that talk. I love that.
Yeah, no filter.
Yeah,
it's good.
He just says what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
So God bless him.
Still looking reasonably positive. So,
all right. Well, why don't we start by you giving us a quick 1 minute explanation of the Hare Clark system? Go.
The Hare Clark system, it's fucked.
It is fucked.
It is the most difficult to understand. Political system, I think, in the world, and they decided to implement it in a state that has some of the highest illiteracy rates in our country.
I think it's over 50% Tasmanians are functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
And yet they have the most complicated voting system in the country.
Yeah. And you look at how people struggle in the other states to grasp our political voting systems, and you wonder how, that system functions down there, really.
And when you hear something like that, most complicated voting with such a low literacy rate, you have to think, why do they keep it like that? And it's like, well, maybe it's possible that is by design.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want Tasmanians having more access to their vote because they won't vote the way the current people that are there.
Yeah, I think absolutely. It's about
keeping the
two majors in and they just go through this merry-go-round of
And
switching.
the Greens are very strong down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God, they just hang on. Yeah. And we know as a smaller party that once they all get into they all complain about not being in the club, like the Greens complain about not being in the club. But then once they get to a size where they're big enough to join the other ones, they want everybody else to not be allowed in the club.
Yeah.
So they're doing everything they can to squeeze out minor parties. Well, them themselves are now one of the bigger fish. Like yes, they are still, the men in the teacup rowing behind the two major ships of our political system. But, then us, we're a thimble behind them because we're working a lot harder. But terrible analogy, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's not surprising given their communist roots that's what they that's what they subscribe to.
Exactly. Yeah, just consolidating power.
Yeah. And this idea of everything's been going to be distributed equally that doesn't work because there's always some greedy asshole at the top that takes more.
Yeah. Look, it's really funny. You saw the other week one of their founders was on 7:30 Report.
Oh yeah, he was having a soot because he's been kicked out.
Yeah, he's been kicked out
because he was speaking out against the obsession of the Greens with transgender issues.
Well, social policy, really. And he was one of the environmentalist founders of the party. So he's like, where has my environmentalist party gone? So we're supposed to be the Greens, and the idea is environmentalism. And then now he's like, so many years later, it's morphed into something else. And I haven't changed, but the party has gone so radical that they're shifting on social issues so much. Yeah. He's like, where's the environmentalism gone? And then he looks at the party and they're not Greens anymore. They're Reds.
Yeah.
And, and he's calling that out and he gets kicked out of the party because it's now you must toe the party line. And he's just like, I haven't changed. I'm just pointing out that you've changed. And the irony was they interviewed that guy and then the 7:30 reporter had him on the screen and then she swivels around and then she's talking to the leader, the one who got kicked out because she was a Canadian and then she had to come back. What's her name?
Is it not Christine Milne? No, one of the other ones.
No, she's long gone.
Yeah.
Larissa Waters.
Oh, Larissa Waters, yes.
Larissa Waters. And he was basically saying, you guys aren't Greens, you're Reds. And we used to joke that they were called watermelons. And then when the 7:30 reporter swivels around, Larissa Waters got watermelon earrings on. I was like, what? So you guys are watermelons.
Truth in advertising.
Yeah, you're pretending to be green, but on the inside you're red. So someone just... The irony was great.
The irony from a party that, proclaims to have no really official leader in New South Wales. They all work together equally and no one's the top dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's all democratic and, peace, love and harmony and... they're busily knifing each other and one of their founders has been knifed for exercising free speech.
Look, I think they're only hanging on to Bob Brown because he was still the number one, but they've quietly moved him off. And every now and then he speaks up about something when they've lost their way.
Yeah, but
he's got the G card and that's an extra card that old mate didn't have.
Yeah, but he's the Greens version of Johnny Howard.
That's what I mean.
They tried out Bob Brown when they need to ramp up their environmental credentials, and
exactly. And
Libs tried out Johnny Howard. When they want to attack us, or they
same as Hawkey did for Medicare. Yeah, same thing. But that's interesting because do you think that Bob Brown will be happy with, like, if he sat in on a party room for the Greens, do you think he'd be happy about it?
I don't think he's happy with the current situation.
No.
From what I heard, so I don't think he'd be happy. But I don't think he'd be allowed because the New South Wales Greens have put in this mantra of you got to be female.
Okay.
If you're a male, you start 40 points behind in the pre-selection. So
was that why old mate David Shoebridge jumped?
Yeah,
because he was going to get knifed.
Yeah, essentially, he wasn't going to get pre-selected.
Once you move away from merit-based, you're always in trouble.
Yeah,
and look, I wasn't a big fan of him, but he put the runs on the board. Yeah, and then Anyway, good luck to him. I'm thinking about. Can you imagine Johnny Howard sitting in on the current Liberal Liberal Party room and just, oh God, he'd be amazed because I think they're bringing in quotas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all are. And yeah, it's, it should be about equality of opportunity. Not just
Definitely.
not
Definitely.
just forcing quotas.
Yeah.
Give everyone the opportunity.
Yeah.
And if they don't perform, then sadly they're not suited that position. Move on. Find something that you are suited to.
And then not equality of outcome. That's obviously what we don't want. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So talking about the Conservation Hunting Bill, which is going to be at an inquiry on the 8th of August. People are putting their submissions in, and we've got one to look at. But just if you could tell us, people putting in their submissions, what happens to those submissions, and who's reading them?
Yeah, so they first get sent to the committee members first before they're made public. The committee members have to have a formal motion to make these public, and that gives the time for the committee staff to read them, check whether there's not any adverse mentions against people or groups, and but it's generally the individual committee members or their staff that are reading them, and it depends on the size of the inquiry, how many submissions are received. Committee members may just choose to read the only ones that are going to appear before a committee hearing.
Yep.
Just to prioritise. And with the major parties, it's normally one committee member is the lead from their party for that inquiry, so they'll do the lion's share of the work, and the others will just sit there and do the old head nod.
Yep. Okay. So you were telling me before that a lot of people put in proper submissions and they do it the way they should be putting in submissions, but there are, on the other side of politics, people that just spam you to just get their numbers up.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of third party websites floating around, and they largely get used a lot by the left side of politics.
Yeah.
To spam members' inboxes and spam committees with essentially pro forma submissions or pro forma emails.
Okay. Which they're probably told what to write, and they just...
Well, essentially, it's all pre-written for them. It's cookie cutter stuff where you just put your name in, and
looking at some of those submissions, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that.
Yeah, and the Parliament has now put in a process to deal with those submissions. So anything under 250 words will just be grouped as a pro forma submission. And I've taken steps personally just to block those third party websites, much to the developers of those websites disgust. I've had a few cranky emails from them saying, "Can you unblock us?"
Really?
And I've said no.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Okay. Well, while we are talking about the inquiry, and obviously everyone should be getting their submissions in. Yeah. They're closing on the 4th. I think I said that.
Yeah.
The inquiry's
Monday.
Monday, and the inquiry's on the 9th. I thought, because there is a few already on the parliamentary website, and there's 50 published. I don't know if they're going to publish more.
Oh, they'll publish more. It just takes a while for them to read through them all. So they generally do them in batches. Okay,
so all let's say they get 1,000, all 1,000 will be posted before the inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, at the moment there's 50 as of yesterday afternoon when I had a look.
Right.
And there's one in particular which I wanted to read to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So first of all, you'll have to guess whether this is pro the Conservation Hunting Bill or against the Conservation Hunting Bill. Okay.
Right, okay.
So a lot of these things, as you can imagine, if you've written your own submission for this sort of thing, you might have seen. Yeah. So, all right, let me have a read. Now that we have the submissions coming to a close, and obviously get them in on this Friday, and then Monday inquiry starts. No, Monday
the submissions close, and then the Friday of next week they have the first hearing.
First hearing,
submissions will be still being, I guess, published up until that hearing, and possibly after that hearing.
Okay. And as you were saying, all the submissions will get published prior.
Yes, unless there's something in it that is defamatory or stuff, or the committee decides to keep it confidential.
Yep. All right. Well, I was looking at the submissions as of yesterday, and there's 50 on there.
Yeah.
There's one in particular I wanted to read to you.
Okay.
And you need to guess whether this is for the Conservation Hunting Bill or against the Conservation Hunting Bill. Okay.
Here we go.
Now, you think of the normal way that you write it. You say, hi, I'm so-and-so from this, and I'm so-and-so from that. So I'm not reading an extract. I'm obviously not going to name the person, but this doesn't have their name on it. But I'm just going to read what they wrote. So it's short and sweet, and it jumps straight in, which is what I love, because you don't have much time, right? So you want to be able to read things and get straight into it. Humans are herbivorous animals and comes under the biological class species of the primates, capital P. If yourselves want to recognize this behavior and consumption by the Indian point of view, then it is really simple. Herbivorous mammals around the world, walking on 4 foot, drink water using their lips, whereas carnivorous drink water using their tongue. Second way to acknowledge the difference between herbivorous and carnivorous is the way we reproduce offsprings. So in herbivorous species, the offsprings are born with eyes open, whereas the carnivorous, the offsprings, are born with the eyes sealed for a few days because they have less chance to be in danger from the predators compared to the herbivorous species. Further, the carnivorous, capital C, have natural sharp nails, capital N, teeths, capital T, and long jaws, capital J, to hunt the herbivorous, whereas the herbivorous have teeths for chewing plants and grasses, and their nails are not meant to hunt others, but they're used for grips while walking on the land. A human cannot hunt without a gun and bullets, and they are herbivorous species, therefore they are not supposed to kill for food and entertainment. If people do this, it is because of the religions backed by the corporates willing to sell arms, ammunition to support violence against the nature and its species. We cannot consume animals' raw meat alike. The nature made the carnivorous, who have the natural resources within to kill and eat it raw and fresh. Their brackets carnivorous in brackets eyes can also follow their prey no matter, or one word, how fast their prey goes. The carnivorous don't depend on exploitation of natural resources like the wood, coal and animals, extract-based gases to consume cooked meat. Yourselves must accept the way nature made us all. Instead of challenging the nature and killing the species being herbivorous species, which were supposed to be hunted by the carnivorous species for sustainability, yourselves must focus on higher thinking and protect the weak. End of submission.
Right.
So for or against? What do you think? Because I don't know.
Well, it's touch and go there.
I don't know.
Touch and go there. I think he might be opposed to our bill.
He might be, but he hasn't said he is.
No.
He hasn't mentioned the bill.
No.
He hasn't said I support it or I'm against it.
No, he's just gone on with this weird diatribe between herbivore animals and carnivorous animals, and because herbivores drink water with their lips, and carnivores drink
water with their tongue.
Water with their tongue.
Like you see the tigers, they make that weird shape where it cups the water. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I would say humans don't drink with their tongues because it's fucking weird. Like if I was drinking water out of a glass with my tongue at a restaurant, I'd be considered some sort of weird pervert. Like, why am I sort of trying to practice the art of cunnilingus, with a glass of water?
But where do you start with this? Where do you start? Yeah. We first of all,
you start with probably a couple of beers after reading that one.
Yeah, I love this, but I love this discussion whenever it comes up because nature is full of exceptions that don't make sense. So if you want to go down, first of all, if you want to go down biology says X, usually if you're on this side, biology is a slippery slope for you. Yeah. And it's a minefield. So, and we all know what you're talking about there. So they have to leave that alone. But then there's also things that exist where, like the panda bear, the giant panda is complete carnivore, but it basically evolved itself into a niche where it's stuck eating bamboo only. But it has a pure carnivore body, carnivore mouth, carnivore intestinal tract. but it eats only one specific kind of bamboo. So anyway, is there a possibility this guy put a submission in for the wrong inquiry? Is there another inquiry that's getting into is the carnivorous and herbivorous? Because that's his main focus.
Yeah.
Is there a carnivorous inquiry versus herbivorous inquiry going on?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay.
Because you do have submissions like that go off on these random tangents, and they're related but not really related, and they fit into that little box we call any other related matter.
Okay. Well, they were good enough to publish it. Look, the only reason I think it's from a different inquiry was because there's no mention of hunting. There's no mention of conservation.
No.
He does mention guns and ammunition, so I guess that's a clue.
Yeah.
But the words carnivorous and herbivorous, he must have mentioned them 30 times each.
Yeah. But then he also goes off on some weird sort of, fossil fuel argument about,
exploiting the earth.
The earth.
Although birds spread fires to help hunt. Like there's certain eagles and stuff spread embers to make more fires so they can catch animals. So I guess they're exploiting, because that's not a natural thing, right?
Yeah.
If a bird's spreading a fire, the fire's not spreading on its own. But yeah, okay. So
they walk amongst us.
They walk among. Yeah. My main takeaway from this is this is what we're up against. Like you spend your time as a hunter, as a conservation hunter, as someone that puts their money into rural New South Wales, rural Australia, because that's where your pastime is, and you spend your time writing a good submission from the heart, that's full of facts, full of your history, and then what does their side throw up?
Something about
we're not carnivores.
Something about carnivores wanting to, tongue bowls of water or something. Like
whoever wrote this, I don't want them tonguing anything anywhere near me.
If you're out there and you drink water with your tongue, stop it. You're a pervert.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a carnivore.
It doesn't make you a carnivore. It just makes you weird. Stop it now.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Nice. See, that wasn't too mean. Like, we could have got really mean.
We could have.
That's it for this episode of the Team SFF Show. If you like what you heard, give us a follow and share with your mates. If you didn't, you're probably from the Greens. We'll catch you next time. And remember, speak up, stand up, and keep your powder dry.